Hello, Respring family. This is the October post-board meeting update. I'm excited to share with you some of the great things that are happening on the district and items that were discussed tonight during the October board meeting. First, I want to announce that J.D. Miller has been selected by the Board of Education with a unanimous approval to become the newest board member for the Reef Spring School District. JD is a passionate individual who loves our community. He is a father with children that serve in the district. Just so excited for him and looking forward to serve along his side as we continue to try to do the best we can for our students. So just going through some of the action items here as I get through, one of the things we reviewed this month is our strategic plan belief that we will always act with honesty and transparency as allowed by law. And that is something that we have tried to do to the best of our ability. We have tried to be as open and transparent about anything that's going on within the district that we are allowed to. We're not perfect, and I recognize that there are times where communication can still improve, but we will always try to share the things that we can. Part of this video is an example of that. There are things that we cannot share by law that we're not allowed to share with the general public. Most of the time, a lot of those times, those are related to personnel. Anything related to employee, we're not allowed to discuss publicly. Anything related to a specific student or child, we are not allowed to share. So that includes student discipline. At times, we'll have parents who have a student who maybe gets into trouble at school and they want to know what's going on with the other kid that was involved in the situation, what kind of discipline was handed out, and we're not allowed by law to share those kind of information, and that gets a little frustrating for families. But we do try to follow law, and we also try to be as transparent as possible. So that is a belief statement that certainly we will continue to live by. The Board of Education next week will be attending a conference in Kansas City. As a board member, one of the expectations is that you're learning and growing and learning how to become even a more proficient board member. So in Missouri, there's a conference every year where board members across the state come for training by educational professionals and other associations. The Missouri School Board Association provides training for our board members so they know how to be more efficient in their jobs. The boards are governed by state statute. They have board policies that are by law they have to follow. So there's a lot of information thrown at them. I know JD will be right into the middle of that right now as he's getting trained. So there's a lot going on. So our board is committed to training and growing, and so they will be attending along with me and Dr. Kite to the annual conference in Kansas City. So we're excited about that and appreciate their support. Appreciate all the things that our teaching staff and our support staff do for kids each and every day. We're continuing to have a great school year. Attendance has been something we've been keeping an eye on with sickness, but actually our attendance percentage is pretty good. We're right around 93% attendance, even though the last few weeks we've had a lot more kids sick. So that is good news. Appreciate Ben Fisher as always and his communications for the district and the PR he puts out for the school district. Gave a brief update on our strategic plan. Our strategic plan is moving right along. We discussed the primary project. The primary building is coming along outside, and you'll see a new structure coming on up on the outside of the building. That's going to be our new addition. It's moving on time, and they've done some other work in the inside. The inside has been completely demolished, and now walls are going up and electrical is going in, and so we're really moving along nicely. Progress is progressing as planned, and just excited to get that thing finalized, especially going into the next year. We are close to getting bids to send out for our new career center here across the road, just north of our high school here, of that little lot. Our career center will have those bids come out. We'll approve those bids. We will be taking time to vet every bid out. We have a little bit more of a window to really push those bids and really request competitive bids and really push that, because we have a building where kids are currently serving, unlike the primary where we had to worry about kids getting back out, in and out of a building. We are going to really vet that out, but our goal at this point is adjusted a little bit. We should have ground being broke late December, early January. It kind of depends on how we move through those bids, but we want to make sure we're getting the best prices that we can. We are continuing to seek additional funds for our projects. We are looking for funds at the state level, both from the Department of Education and the legislative side of things. We would be more than happy to talk to anybody who knew of any avenues where we could go to for either any kind of extra funds for building projects related to career centers, early childhood. But really, we talked about that tonight, and we feel really good about the direction we're heading. I'm excited to announce that we have just been awarded almost $400,000 grant through the it's a school violence prevention grant. This obviously is a perfect timing. I'm always trying to figure out how to stay ahead of school safety. The grant will supply us with a new bus software system that will allow us to track every movement of the bus. It will allow us to monitor students and where they're at. Administrators can communicate on the buses to students so that bus drivers can focus on the road. Cameras on the bus will be live active right to the administrator's phone so they can see what's going on. We're excited about having that system purchased. We're also going to be able to add new cameras to the bus, new software. I mentioned that. LED lights. We've replaced a lot of parking lot lights to LED. We'll be able to reimburse ourselves for a lot of that we've done. We'll continue to make that progress. And the pack lights that are on the buildings for security will be replaced, and new ones will be updated and added. Our SROs will get some new much needed equipment, including new radios for communication, and then we'll have camera upgrades throughout the district. Perfect timing. School safety has never been more important, and so we are able to move forward on that. I appreciate Steve Erhine, who is leading that charge, along with Carrie Padilla, who's done a lot of work with the grant writing piece, and Carlos Hayes and others that have really pushed hard for that to happen, and we got the grant, so we're excited. I informed the board that we are currently working with a student information system that manages all of our grading, our attendance, everything related, all the data related to students. That company, Tyler Sys K-12, is going out of business, or that line of their business they're quitting it. So we've assembled a team of individuals across the district to explore new options. So we will be making a change to our student information system going into next school year. Along with that, we talked about the need to create a position to manage the student information system, as well to manage some core data stuff, data reporting that goes to the Board of Education. So more information will come to that, but that will be something that we'll be moving forward with beginning in January. The federal programs review was provided by Mrs. Smith, our federal programs director. It included how dollars are used for title funds from the federal government and how those monies are allocated to help students excel especially in the areas of reading and literacy. A professional development plan was presented from Dr. Kite to the Board of Education. We are required by law to spend at least 1% of our budget on professional development for staff. We actually spend more than that to help grow our staff to ensure that we're providing the best instruction and the best experiences for our kids. We discussed an early resignation incentive for our classified staff. This incentive would include providing a monetary incentive for our classified support staff when they're ready to resign, if they've been accepted in another position or they're getting ready to retire. If they notify us in a certain time period, then they have the potential of receiving $500 or $750, depending on those scenarios. We will have a final proposal approved by the Board of Education in November if everything goes as planned. That way we can get ahead of the curve and get those early resignations to be able to hire, and also to have time for some training to happen so we can hire a new individual, bring them in on staff, and have them actually work with the outgoing individual. For example, if you hire a new secretary, they could actually come in and spend a week or some kind of time period with that outgoing person as part of their training transition. And it also just gives us a chance just to hire and look for the best quality individuals. So that will be coming out. So our classified people, I know you'll be excited about that. I know that's something you've been asking for. So we're getting close to having that finalized for you. We then had the board approve a variety of policies that are all aligned to state statute. So those can all be found online. Our policy manual is online and posted. So the board adopted a variety of policies. I'm not going to go into those and explain those. You can see the minutes that are posted online, and then you can look at the board policies to see what those changes are. But those are all aligned to the laws that went in place in August. In our policies are drafted by attorneys to ensure that the district's protected and also following the law. So the board approved that. That was our board meeting. We had a great evening, a great night. Again, we are having a wonderful school year. So many wonderful accomplishments with students across the district. They're just working tremendously hard in the classroom. They're working tremendously hard in the fine arts department. They're working so hard on the field. It's just been a really good year. We look forward to continuing into this winter season with just excellence happening across the district. Thank you, everyone, and go Wolves.